Good afternoon students. Welcome to the last session of module 3, that is production of solar grade silicon by union carbide method. Silicon exists in two forms, metallurgical grade silicon and semiconductor grade silicon. First we'll see metallurgical grade silicon. See, in the previous class I told you N-type semiconductors or P-type semiconductors, they are formed by doping with impurities like arsenic, phosphorus or boron. So these elements will be present as impurities in silicon. Okay. In addition to these impurities, there will be transition metals which are also present as impurities in silicon. So that type of silicon, it is called a metallurgical grade silicon. And the presence of transition metal impurities, it will prevent the use of metallurgical grade silicon in solar cells. So in solar cells, we need silicon with lesser amount of impurities. Okay, so we opt for semiconductor grade silicon. In semiconductor grade silicon, the impurity, it is in the range of parts per billion. That means the amount of impurity that is present in the semiconductor grade silicon, it is very less. And therefore, semiconductor grade silicon, it is made use of in solar cells. Okay, and the use of semiconductor grade silicon in solar cells will make the solar cells more expensive. Okay, now let us see how the semiconductor grade silicon is obtained or produced using union carbide process. Production of solar grade silicon, that is semiconductor grade silicon, by union carbide method. This method, it was first developed by Union Carbide Chemicals in United States of America, and therefore this method is known as union carbide method. Now here in this, the first step is production of metallurgical grade silicon. For that, quartz and carbon, they are taken in a crucible and it is placed in an electric arc furnace, whereby quartz is reduced to silicon. So quartz and carbon, it is taken in a crucible in which two carbon electrodes are present, and an electric arc is stuck between these two electrodes. Okay, at higher temperatures, silica, it will be reduced to silicon, and carbon, it is getting converted to carbon monoxide. This carbon monoxide, it is further oxidized to carbon dioxide and it is released into the atmosphere. So silicon thus obtained, it is in the molten state. Okay, so molten state silicon is obtained. So this is the first step. Now second step is refining of silicon. Okay, this crude molten silicon thus obtained, it is treated with silica and lime to remove impurities like aluminum, calcium and magnesium present in molten silicon. Okay, so these impurities present in the molten silicon, it will react with silica and form silicon and calcium oxide. Okay, this calcium oxide, again it will react with silica to form calcium silicate or slag. So this is the second step, that is refining of silicon, whereby the molten silicon that is obtained in the first step, it will contain impurities like aluminum, calcium, magnesium, etc. So to remove these impurities, it is again treated with silica, whereby the calcium, if it is present as impurity, it will react with silica and form silicon and calcium oxide. This calcium oxide, again it will react with silica and form calcium silicate or slag. Okay, and the slag thus obtained, it can be mechanically removed. And molten silicon, the slag obtained, it is removed. Molten silicon thus obtained, it is poured into molds and solidified. Silicon thus obtained in this process, it is called metallurgical grade silicon. So now we have obtained metallurgical grade silicon. Now the next step is production of semiconductor grade silicon. So the metallurgical grade silicon, it is treated with HCl gas at 300 degrees Celsius to get trichlorosilane and small amount of tetrachlorosilane. Okay, so the metallurgical grade silicon, it is treated with HCl gas at 300 degrees Celsius, whereby it get converted to trichlorosilane, that is SiHCl3 and hydrogen. Okay, so along with this trichlorosilane, a small amount of tetrachlorosilane is also formed, that is SiCl4. So silicon reacting with HCl gas at 300 degrees Celsius, it results in the formation of trichlorosilane as well as small amount of tetrachlorosilane. Clear? Now, this tetrachlorosilane, upon further reduction with hydrogen at 1000 degrees Celsius, it gives again trichlorosilane. So this tetrachlorosilane, it is reduced with hydrogen in a hydrogenation reactor. Okay, tetrachlorosilane, it is passed to a hydrogenation reactor whereby it get reduced to trichlorosilane, and this reaction takes place at about 1000 degrees Celsius. Okay. Trichlorosilane, it is then passed through ion exchange columns containing quaternary ammonium ion exchange resin which act as catalyst. So what will happen? Trichlorosilane, it will get converted to dichlorosilane and tetrachlorosilane. This dichlorosilane, again it will be converted to silane or silicon hydride and trichlorosilane. These products, they will be separated by distillation. Now this trichlorosilane and tetrachlorosilane, they will be again sent back to hydrogenation reactor and to the ion exchange resin columns for recycling. Okay. Now the silicon hydride or silane which is obtained, it is further purified by distillation. Okay, further purified by distillation, and it is passed to a reactor whereby it gets spiralized. Spiralized means it will get breakdown at higher temperature, forming silicon, and hydrogen is released. The silicon thus obtained, it is the solar grade silicon. Okay, so this is how solar grade silicon, it is prepared by union carbide process. So 3 steps are involved in the preparation of solar grade silicon by union carbide process. First is production of metallurgical grade silicon, second is refining of silicon, and then the production of semiconductor grade silicon or the solar grade silicon. Clear? So that's all for today's class. Thank you.